Hey, it's Tess. I just thought I'd drop on and I'd say hello and say a few words. Today I'm going to just talk about something quick, but something that's right up my alley and something I really haven't done in a while. But I've been in some training the past few days, and today they were talking about learning the learning style of people that you might be selling products to. And what it really kind of reminded me of is the days that I was tutoring, because I did a lot of studying, or we did a lot of studying. Actually, it was really interesting because we did studies on colors. And if you introduce like sheets of colored, like the thin colored paper, and you put it over books, for some students that alleviated some stresses and allowed them to study better. Now, those were preliminary studies. I should actually check into that again. It's been a while since I followed up on that. But it was kind of interesting how even the shading of the environment that you're in can have an impact on education and on learning. And the other thing that was really big, because I'm an Orton Gillingham trained practitioner, when I worked with students, or when I taught reading, and I actually worked with math as well, I used the Orton Gillingham multi-sensory sequential repetitive step-by-step approach to learning. But today, in talking about the idea that when you're selling to people, or when you're, and I don't even want to say the word selling, when you're educating on a new process or a new opportunity, and you want to share what you know because it may be a possible good fit for somebody else, understanding the way they learn is important. But I actually think you take it a step further than that. And the step further that you take it is that it should be done in a multisensory approach. And the reason I say that is that even myself, I've been realizing that there are some things I'm just not remembering as much as I used to remember, so I'm going to have to work on that part, or look up the vitamins related to that and make sure that I'm staying current on that. But what was interesting is what I know is multi-sensory, sequential, repetitive, step-by-step. That's the best way to learn. And the reason is it engages more parts so that you have more resources to go back to try to remember later. And by multi-sensory, you can say it, see it, hear it, feel it, taste it. Now, when I was tutoring, we didn't really get the taste part into it, but we would say it out loud as we wrote it. And in a lot of cases, like with my young students, I would have a tray with sand in it, and we would actually write the letters as they sounded them out. And that was the multisensory part. And it did kind of hit me today when they were talking about you need to identify the learning style of the people that you're trying to share a message with. But I honestly think that in sharing messages in a multisensory approach, that's actually probably the best approach, because it gives you multiple avenues to go down in order to retrieve that information later. And it did remind me, I spent probably 5 or 6 years studying this when I was working with students, because I saw what it did for them, and I actually saw what it did for me. There has been dyslexia in my family, and I do believe I might myself have been what they call a high-achieving dyslexic, but unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how you look at it, I would never be able to be diagnosed with it, because I learned this process, this Orton Gillingham method, long before I tested, so I would never have tested to show a positive. But it's just one of those things that the talk today was in learning the way people learn. And I think sometimes it's in providing more opportunities in the way somebody can learn. You don't have to just say it or see it, but if you say it, see it, hear it, and feel it, like in a sand tray, it just gives more opportunities for retention and to pull it out later. It's what we would call, the more repetitive it is, it would take it from the short-term memory and move it to the long-term. But I did want to go live today, and I just wanted to make sure that I was on for a brief amount of time. But that was the thing that kind of hit me today. It took me back to a few years in the past when I was doing a lot of work with students. I actually reached out to one of my students when I was up in the air, because he has become a pilot now, and I was telling him that one day I want the student to actually take me, his teacher, and let him be the student and show me, to let me share an experience of flying with him. So that's something I'm looking forward to. He put a big heart on it, so I think we're all good when he's in a place where maybe we can do that. But it did remind me, because reaching out to him recently, and then the idea of these learning styles, it just reminded me that sometimes I think it's not just the one thing, but it's the multiple ways that we can approach something or look at something gives us the best answers on how to move forward. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.